Next up, guys, we have to close the program for the evening. We have the pleasure, like I mentioned earlier, the support of the NAED. We have here today with us the current chair of the National Association of Electrical Distributors, the NAED, Dan Dungan. He's the executive chairman of Springfield Electric Supply, a wholesale electrical supply distributor with 16 locations centered across the Midwest. Dan presently serves as the chairman of our board of directors, and additionally, he serves on the board of directors of IMARC, an electrical marketing and procurement cooperative group. Dan serves as past chairman of the Strategic Leadership Council of Q5, part of the Springfield Chamber of Commerce, and serves on the board of trustees of the Springfield YMCA, where he recently headed up the capital fund drive to build a new YMCA branch. Dan holds a bachelor's in finance from Texas Tech University. Please welcome Dan Dungan.
Thanks, Chris, for that honor and those remarks. You know, it's an honor for me to be here this evening. And I look at this crowd, I'm amazed at what we have in front of us here, 150 people. Just really, really cool to see the growth of the LEAD conference over the past 3 or 4 years. It wasn't too long ago that I think it was hovering around 60. And I remember back in 2004 or 5 when YET was rebooted into LEAD, and from that point forward it's really had some really good growth, so I'm excited to see that. It's been 30 years since I've attended my first YET LEAD conference, and I remember a lot about that conference. I remember the sizable headache I had. I remember my wife Carolyn was with me at that conference, and I remember meeting many people, many of them who are industry friends today. But of all the things I do remember, I don't have a clue who the speaker was, and I certainly don't recall anything that speaker said. So if this talk isn't interesting, I'll certainly make it short for you tonight. So usually the NAED chair comes up and talks about their own personal story and a career. I'm not going to do that tonight, since the world has changed so much since I entered this business 35 years ago. I really realize that your career path will be much different than mine, and so I'm going to talk briefly about NAED, the industry, and some leadership ideas. You know, NAED is proud to be an industry leader. We have a long and rich 110-year history, and we know that in order to continue to be a leader, we must look forward. And that is why in 2015, NAED board implemented a permanent strategic planning process that will keep us focused on our main priorities as well as relevant to you in this industry. Our 4 main priorities are, number 1, training a successful workforce. NAED will provide creative and unique training and educational solutions for our members. Education is no longer something that is done in a classroom. It's served up through a number of channels, and NAED has an entire team devoted to offering a variety of solutions to meet those needs. The second thing we're working on is bringing together the best minds in the industry to solve common problems, much like we're doing LEAD today. We have a proud history of facilitating collaboration and sharing best practices. Look around this room tonight. The relationships that you make during the next few days will be helpful throughout your career in this industry. You all are like-minded professionals with a common goal to move this industry forward in a way that ensures its longevity. And I'm very proud of that. I think we've got the right people in this room. This is the future of our industry. The third thing the industry is working on is building an appreciation for our membership's value. We will passionately promote the value of distribution to manufacturers reps, our customers, and policymakers. Despite the threats of our channel from online giants, the association is 100% committed to the value of distribution and to bring the channel, make it the channel of the future and of choice. The fourth thing we're working on is clearly articulating our value and becoming more accessible to members. We will raise awareness of our range of products and solutions in ways that you can easily access. NAED is continually evaluating the way we service our members, our goal to be quicker and easier to do business with, and solve everyday common problems. Your association is one phone call away, one click away, and they're there to help. NAD is a valuable resource for all of us, the nation's distributors and their affiliates. We will continue to be the meeting place of the industry by providing the only meeting attended by the entire electrical industry. This is manufacturers reps, supplier partners. This is where it all happens. And we continue to far exceed our goals at our meeting, our conferences, our annual meeting. Things are really happening. It's exciting to see. NAD has been working toward upgrading and improving the technology we use that we can better serve you and provide you with a better overall experience. You know, we talk about technology and a lot in our industry, and one of the things we had to do within NAD is to be self-reflective. So the staff has put together a strategic technological plan that will improve the backbone and the software of NAD. A lot of that is you're seeing with the new educational platform. We're working on one of my pet peeves is the registration process is very cryptic and archaic for conferences. I think they're going to be beta testing something here late this summer, early fall, and hopefully roll something out for the first regional conference, which will be the Eastern one coming up in November. You know, some may say the electrical distribution is a safe and boring career path. Well, I think those people would be clearly wrong. Now is an exciting time for this industry. Business is moving very fast at a really rapid pace. Smart and interconnected technology is transforming the world around us. Just look at all the IP addressable products we sell and everything that's in your home that's going to be addressable. As the technology is influencing our industry and companies, electrical distribution are still an integral part of the supply chain and will provide the right products and solutions to the markets that we serve. However, in order to continue to thrive, we need to innovate. We have to adapt and evolve programs to serve our customers. It's critical that we do that. I have a keen interest in technology and how it's improving the business that we operate. It's critical that we keep pace with technology when it comes to day-to-day operations. While some of this may be foreign to you, there are others in this industry that are well ahead of the technological curve and doing things quite well. The reason that I selected the theme this year, I've selected the theme, my theme as chair this year is called People, Processes, and Products. During my year as chair, I want to talk about that. I think it's critically important because technology revolves around everything that we do. It's an important process, and it's something that I believe passionately about, and I think our industry will be served well with that. Now, more than ever, we need to look outside of our comfort zone. We talked about today what our comfort zones are and aren't, and see how we can reinvent our business models to be more adaptable. Since this is a lead conference, I do want to share some thoughts on leadership now. Earlier this year, I had a phone call from Susan Bloom, the contributing editor of the TED magazine, who asked me a series of questions regarding leadership. And one of those questions she posed to me was this: what are some of the key characteristics that make for an effective leader in the electrical distribution industry? Pretty interesting question. And she posed that to me in an email, and like I do a lot of times, I thought about it. And whenever I have trouble with the question, I turn it around and I ask, well, what is the inverse of that question? So what are the characteristics of an ineffective leader? So if you think about that for a minute, well, we all have had jobs wherever they were, maybe in our present career, where we are, where you have no doubt observed ineffective leaders. Someone who is indecisive in a position that you report to, who lacks maybe some of the following: integrity, honesty, and humility. Conversely, in my mind, true leaders will have all the following traits: integrity, humility, and honest, and they can make decisions. That's true leadership. Well, we all have our own ideas of what makes a good or great leader. In my mind, people tend to commingle good managers and good leaders. Think about that for a minute. Think within your own organizations of the many good managers you have working for you or around you. But how many of those are truly good leaders? I submit that very few are. Can you train leadership? I really don't know. Truly, can you train it? Is it trainable? It's a $1 billion college industry right now, but has anyone got it right yet? This is a dynamic and certain nothing new. It's been debated since I graduated from business school, and many years before that it was debated. How do you train leaders? What I do believe is a certain about leadership and its development, and what have experienced in my own company is that true leadership will emerge along the way. They will emerge by providing an environment that creates opportunities for education, career coaching, and personal development. Let these people have opportunities to develop themselves, along with attending external training such as the LEAD conference. The secret, though, is consistency of such development culture. You've got to have this culture of development. Year after year, decade after decade, companies need to have this culture development. Your leaders will emerge through that process. In conclusion, I want to share a personal story on leadership, as I believe true leadership starts within each of us. It truly does. This example could be from an educational thing you want to achieve. It could be an aspiration of a career change or a new job opportunity. In my case, it was a fitness thing. 20 years ago, I found myself woefully out of shape, overweight, and pretty stressed about everything. Young kids, it was just a pretty stressful time. So I decided to take personal accountability and leadership in my own problem, my own self-leadership. I didn't have a strategic plan for myself. I had no annual goals or quarterly goals, things like that. I decided I was going to complete a triathlon to get in physical shape. That was my plan. So I had a dream. That dream became a vision, and I created a strategic plan, and that's how I executed on that week after week, month after month, till I completed my first triathlon, 5 months after I created this strategic plan. Since that time, I went on to complete hundreds of triathlons, including 21 Ironman events. So that's taken it over the edge a little bit, but when you have passion and laser-like focus, you can do things. You can move heaven and earth, go through walls if you want. So my challenge to all of you is this, folks. Leadership starts within each of you. I challenge you, what is your personal strategic plan? Thank you, and have a wonderful conference.